Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are still on the POLITY reaching live from the nation's capital, and we went on that quick break. And after that, we'll still be talking about what Teachers Day, because of course we cannot overemphasize the role these people play in our immediate society. Well, what's not to love about teachers? Because before we went on the break, we had Dr. Sulaiman, of course, analyzing their immediate role and impact in society. I'd like him to continue from where he stopped.
Yes, but let's look at, you are talking of teachers. Believe me, honestly, I don't think there are people that are great that need to be eulogized like teachers. They are great people with great mind, blessed memory. They are people that are different species that shows you concern, impact you with cultural values, educational values, and mold you to be who you are today in the society.
That's correct.
If you are talking about of teachers, after parent, you have teacher.
In some cases,
you have teacher without parent.
Yes.
That's why I'm coming. Vis-a-vis. So in this aspect, we have sweet brothers, we have sweet teacher. If not for my teacher, I would have been here. Let me tell you, if you look at the relationship between teacher, student, and parent, that is where we're supposed to start, and that is where we start to get it wrong in our educational system. In those days, before early 90s, teacher used to be all in all about pupil, student in the school or in the university. The moment you misbehave at home, you are not forthcoming or responsible within the family cycle, the next thing that your mother or daddy will tell you, I'm going to report you to teacher. I'm coming to your school tomorrow to report you to teacher. It has two issues on it. There are two issues there, consequences there. Number one, if they report to the teacher, they are going to announce you before the assembly ground. And you know what that means. Embarrassment. Number two, your teacher will put an eagle eye on you in terms of discipline. And number four, he will be more objective and more concerned about you and the relationship between you and your parent. Because the teacher can even close from school and go direct to your home and ask your parent what is happening here. That is then when we have teachers, not teachers of these days.
But, okay, I like the fact that you said that was when we are teachers. What went wrong between that time and now? Because I remember a certain governor in the state actually even called all the teachers and had them write a common entrance, and none of them could pass. And then these are the said people teaching primary 5, and not to just talk about the bad ones. We equally have the good ones that are actually going out of their way to actually impact knowledge in most of their pupils or students. But then the question is the federal government even doing enough? Are we actually are we giving them the necessary dues as at when?
A teacher needs to be supported. A teacher needs support. He needs to be praised. He needs to be paid. He needs to be pampered. You need to tell him this is your role in the society. Your reward is not just in the heaven. He must start getting his reward from this world. Why are the senators not waiting for their reward until when they get to heaven? Until you say teachers should wait for his reward until you get to heaven? No, we are not being justice to them. Let me tell you, Mercy, these people you call teachers, they are parents. They taught us how to respect our parents. They teach us how to read and write. And they tell us how to respect and how to value our nation. One, the relationship between parent, student, where do we get it wrong? The coming and application of what? Of science and technology in our academic system have dealt a serious blow on our educational cultural values and our educational social values. The traditional system of our educational system, the traditional system of our educational system have collapsed. We have our tradition when it comes to education.
And what are those traditions when it comes to
Very good. We have what we call class cha-cha, what they call nursery now. In those days, you write with a slate and a chalk.
And a chalk. But then as the world is...
It gives you pleasure, joy, happiness when you go with your slate.
The world is going digital.
No, we are going digital. Are you digital? The student, you gave them digital in their home, do they have a computer? A child in US has a toy that is computer-like. That reminds you about ABCD. In the environment, in his house setting, he knows what is fridge, how to operate this, how to operate that. Do we have it? Most of this average Nigerians you see today riding a car that spend a lot of money don't have this facility in the house. What are we saying? Let's go by our own tradition. In the class, go to US, go to UK, go to China, go to Russia. You find classes at primary school level. You see it will be 45 with AC, all camera, everything from A to Z. If you are living home, you are being monitored and computerized from your home to your school, from class back to home. Do we have that system here? Then why are we establishing a caricature system of education for ourselves that doesn't have a tradition and a pattern? We borrow from them, we add our own system, and it's not working, and we are still going by it. That shows our education have lost its value, and our teachers have lost focus. Let's have our own traditional way of doing things. If we are fully ripe for introducing science and technology into it, then we go by it. How many polytechnic or school of tech, science and tech do you have that are fully equipped with science and technology equipment? That a student will come and say, look, this is what I can craft without going anywhere. You don't have it. Even those that graduated as engineers, what can they produce after their after their main project and they graduate? They tell you what you do is theory. But the ordinary man on the street that goes from one house to the other to repair your light, to repair your mechanic, and the engineers will know. These engineers also fall back to them.
So who is to blame? The teachers, the pupil, or the federal government?
Let me tell you, everybody has a blame on this. Look, the teacher has no blame. The teachers are at the receiving end. Whatever policy the government bring to them, they try to implement it. Before we have teachers secondary schools, in those days we don't have what we call pivota. Yeah. Do you have them now? In school we call them pivota. But we call the Israeli pivota. After your teacher secondary school, it's just like any other secondary school. From there you know you are going to what? NC direct. From NC you get your B.Ed and you call a full teacher. Today we don't have those facilities on ground. How many teachers college do you have today? Secondary teachers college do you have? Hardly you get them in most of these states. Where you need to start training a teacher from day one, from his secondary school to NC. From NC he gets his B.Ed. He becomes a fully professional teacher from A to Z to the core. And he knows the value of being a teacher in the society. His life is not to make money, it's to become a teacher. And he knows what it means to become a teacher. Because if you are really a teacher, you made who is who in the society. Do you need to look for money? No. Those who are meant to be who and who in the society will come back to you and say, thank you, teacher, you made me who I am today.
Yeah, that's good.
Let me tell you, in my primary school days, we have one of the teachers, one of the disciplinary teachers, we call him Teacher Scatter. If you are to take 12 lashes in the assembly on Monday, if you are being reported by your parent or you run from a school before closing time, the teacher will lie you down. They will give you 12 stroke. You see, there's this drama. It seems to be very interesting between the student and such a teacher. The moment they report it to a teacher, a disciplinarian, if you are going the following Monday, you know that, look, you have to put 3 pints together. And maybe look for something like Pampers and put inside. Because you know you are going to take 12 stroke. You see, what I'm trying to say that, look, they have already established a code of conduct of living between the student, the teachers, and the parent.
Yeah.
You have your discipline. So your mother will not have the feeling, being a mother, to give you that discipline. The father will not be happy to give you that discipline. But they know that somebody is there to discipline you. That's a teacher for you. We don't have it. Today, you don't dare touch a student in the school, even in the public school. Why? Why? That is why today you look at primary school students misbehaving. Nobody can talk to them. The parents are not there to discipline them at the home level, at the family level, at the school level. The teacher cannot tell them. In the morning, go to most of this private school. You see teachers waiting for students. Some people are beating drum, petting students to hug them and take them to the classes. Why is it? Why? Then if this is the tradition we are giving our students, what psychological impact will it have? So we felt the students today are more superior than the teacher.
Okay, well, you know, in many societies, teachers are looked upon as individuals who can help to bring about positive changes in the lives of people. And now they're seen as natural leaders who can give advice on various affairs of the communities. And now within the context of their direct interaction with children, parents and communities, we have to agree that these people serve like middlemen, right? And now within this jurisdiction, they could play several major roles in prevention and elimination of child labor. Why do students or individuals, why don't they want to become teachers? Because, I mean, jokingly, yeah, we go to schools and then we hear them say, what do you want to become in the future? All we hear is lawyers, doctors, and all of that.
Pilots,
engineers. But nobody wants to become a teacher. That should speak something on our society.
The joy of being a teacher has been taken away from the teachers. Teacher pleasure is not in the money he gets. He collects a salary. The pleasure of a teacher as a teacher is the respect he earns from the society. Because if the society don't recognize the teacher as one of the pillars of those that mold the society, culture the society, then now, what are the value of a teacher? What are those things that you use to measure the value of a teacher? The teachers don't have interaction, no longer have interaction with the parent because we have what we call PTA.
PTA meetings, yeah. The
PTA meetings today is not between the teachers and the parent, but it is not today between the principal and the parent, and some maybe teachers because there is money involved.
But it takes someone that is passionate about their jobs, because I know I have siblings and I've seen cases where my mom talks directly with the teacher and say, not necessarily my family, but I've seen teachers actually reach out to families of their students to say, oh, this child is acting inappropriately, this child is acting out of the box, is something going on.
Yes, in those days
that should be addressed.
In those days you have teachers that if there are issues about a particular student or within the family, you call the teacher to home, to the family. Please help us address this issue. What is the problem? Let me tell you, and this issue of religious leaders also have taken some value, some responsibility of the teacher away to the churches and mosques. Instead of inviting the teachers to look at the child psychologically, because he's been with the student from morning to
Monday to Friday.
Then now you look at parents now calling the overseer, the pastors to come and pray, to come and see, and they tell you this child. We so much believe in this spiritualism.
And still, nobody wants to become a teacher.
Nobody wants to become a teacher. The teacher will advise you and tells you about the child from practical experience, interaction he has with the child from primary 1 to 5 to 6. Within these last 6 years, I have seen this child to be this, or be this, he can be this. This is his area of competency. What are we saying? It's not the issue of calling a pastor and imam to pray for him. This is what you want him to become. The teacher will tell you, this is this boy, this is what he can be in the nearest future, and this is what we hope for him to be. And from my assessment, looking at what he has gotten from primary 1 to primary 6, this is the type of secondary school he should go. So if these things are not there, we will never get it right. Let's go back to our own old traditional system of doing things, because if we are talking about development is not just about science and technology. How the method and the system, the method you use in adopting science and technology in your own traditional way of life matters a lot. Let me tell you, up to today, most houses you go, they still do their pounded yam the way we do it in the village. But we have pounding machines. If you use those pounding machines, it is not sweet as one they pound directly.
What's the
with hand. You have to use your physical strength, and you sweat, you see the lady doing it well. And it gives you joy seeing her doing it as a wife. The same thing applicable to teacher. If you want to get the real traditional method of teaching a child and know to get the real value of education, give the teacher their right. Position them as the society has positioned them in those days, and let them take their leadership role in the society, within the family cycle, and within the local government and the state level. And let me tell you, in those days we have training for teachers.
For teachers, yeah.
They have training and training and training. A teacher will just come and tell his wife, look, I'm going for training tomorrow. I'm going for training next week. The wife will be happy. Because for you to be a teacher's wife is another rank for you in the society. But now they don't respect for the teacher. You see students coming to the house to help teacher in doing one thing or the other. If you report a child that refuses to go for an errand in the house within the family level, then they will send him to a teacher within the weekend. He will go and do some errand work for the teacher.
But isn't that what we call child labor right now?
That's not child labor. You see, we are misconcepting some words or misplacing some words, terminologies. Look, here I'm telling you, we are Africans. We should not run away from the reality that we are Africans. We are not Europeans. No matter our level of education, we still think and reason like what? Like Africans. We are Africans. If you go out, the moment you go there, out there in your village, you have to kneel down or the ballet and greet your grandfather, your grandmommy. In US, they have not that system. In Europe, they don't have that system.
That's correct.
The moment you wake up in the morning, you have a portion you must clean in the morning. You must do your routine duty in the morning as a student or as a child.
That is totally acceptable. I'm talking about a child that is supposedly in school, and then you find out that your ward has left school to go to some teacher's house.
No. I said weekends.
Okay.
You send him as another. Do you know in those days you send your student weekends to go to a teacher and let him do lesson with teachers? The lesson they are doing today in school is not in school. Go and meet your teacher if he is close by. Yes, with your books. The teacher will ask you, what did you do yesterday, where did we stop? And he still gives you some address, some assignment to do. The following weekend you are coming with another assignment that he gives you. And the same teacher are going to meet him again in the school on Monday. So these are those things we have ruled out. The parents are running away from their responsibility as parents. They don't want to tutor their children. They are pushing everything from A to Z to the school. As early as 6 o'clock, children are already in the school van, taking them to school. By 7 o'clock, they are there. Before they come back home, it's already 6 or 5 o'clock. Before the father and mother come back from work, it's already 7 o'clock. Nobody to monitor the child psychologically, emotionally, and what are we saying? Educational, let me tell you.
Okay.
My mother, she is a primary 6 holder. What she did, after every day, she will look at my assignment, class work. Here, cross. Here, mark, good. She will say, here, she will count it. The cross 1, 2, 3. You have 3 here. Here, you have 2 mark. Why? You ask me questions. She will be able to assess my result. But parents today go to school and tell the teacher, why did my student, why did he fail? You must pass every word. And the school management will tell the teacher, it is a must for you, the child failed or passed, you must pass him because the parents are paying money. Okay, now we cannot, I like the fact that you've apportioned blame to teachers and the students and everybody has taken their own fair share of the blame. But now, let's talk about federal government. And let's talk about now, the 24th century, and let's talk about Nigeria, what is happening in our immediate society as regards education. Do you think insecurity is a major challenge we have right now? Because every day we see kidnappings of not just students, even teachers. And now it's shifted from just students to a particular agenda where you see where they kidnap females. As of this morning, all of the national dailies recorded 4 kidnapped students in, I think, Katsina State, yes, and that's not a first. As of last week, we saw, Zamfara, and that's equally not the first. We still have the Chibok girls, we have lots of that,
And now everybody is pushing to education. First off, we know that in this part of Nigeria, people are literally begged to go to school because first off, they feel like education for the female gender is an issue to start with. They feel women shouldn't be knowledgeable. And now it looks like there's an attack on the female gender still to saying go to school. So do the teachers take the sole aim of barring people from education? And now with the recent kidnappings and insurgency, it looks like there's a major force attacking the educational sector for women right now.
You see, the issue of insecurity is really affecting every segment of our society, not just the education. Not the education. The market women are feeling the pain. Because when I was coming from Lokoja to Abuja 3 days ago, there was this issue of kidnapping. Again, a driver was shot on his leg and went away with about 4 people. And they are all traders. Just coming from Lokoja to Abuja and Goji to buy some things and go back. Then what is the fate of those people? And what will you say about those people? They are not students, they are market traders, market women. The same thing with civil servants that will go for holiday for, Xmas, Easter break, Salah break, who move from one state to the other. Okay,
in this case, let me just give this. In this case, they are moving from point A to point B. But in the education system,
I'm still coming there.
Okay,
I'm still coming there.
Person
in the university, because let me tell you, the issue here is that it is not just a security threat. They want to work on the psychology of the government. That look, even your universities are not safe, because the most secure place today is the most supposed secure place supposed to be 2 or 3 places. One. The first secure place for anybody should be barrack.
It's no longer safe.
2 is university. That is why we call it universe. Because you have everybody there. From any part of the world. People come there for research, for confirmation of one thing or the other, test running one hypothesis or something there, clarifying one research topic or the other, confirming verification of research issues, topic here and there. So every university is a universal point for everybody that brings us together. So if this is the case, so the issue of insecurity has made this set of people in the society to understand the relevance, the usefulness of what, and the position of university in the society. And that is why most of the time they are looking at what evil they can bring into the university system, particularly educational system within the university level. Because the moment you touch a university student, it has a serious impact psychologically on all other students within that cycle. You'll be forced to close the university, or those students will not be psychologically stable or emotionally stable. The next thing, you have to move them from their university back home for them to be stable or come back. Let me tell you, in this aspect, the issue of insecurity has really affected our educational system, secondary school level and primary school level. Because the moment a primary school level today knows what you call insecurity, he knows what you call bandit, and he knows what you call kidnapping. So this issue now is a threat. Also make them look, I'm going to secondary school, I'm going to school today, I don't know what will happen. Before we know what we call bomo in those days, those traditional ritualist. But today it's not traditional, it's physical. Somebody will come with AK-47 SMG machine to come with vans and do away with students, and nobody can talk. So these things are also a serious issue that need to be addressed within the educational cycle. Because that is to tell you that, look, within the educational system today, our university must be fortified with security men. If not, let's look at it. How do we tackle security or insecurity within the university system? We should employ the ex-servicemen that have the experience. They are retired. Bring them in. Get some vigilantes. Train them together. Give them posts. Let them stand on their posts and let them be there 24 hours. Each university have their security department. Let them operate within this system.
But do you realize that these people actually have informants, and they get, I mean, lots of persons have been compromised, and according to reports this morning, the police has actually arrested one of the informants that gave them, I don't know, whatever information for them to be able to access the female hostel. That's
what, if you look at this, what I'm telling you, is that, look, we are not being proactive, security-wise. Every university have a security budget. They have a security department. Then you meet all most of these security men in the university are always sleeping, doing nothing. They turn their security office to what? To laundry services for all other people to come and take. You see security man washing and pressing. At that age, then what is he doing? So the issue there is that, look, you must make these people to be active. Look at their health. Are they qualified to be security men within the university system? Where are they coming from? Do they have any security experience? Are they retired soldiers, retired policemen, or retired civil defense officers, or retired prison officers, or retired immigration officers? If these are the class of people who are going to take as security men, get them, train them, give them training, update them with the latest security apparatus system within the society. Get some young guys as vigilantes, integrate them together, and let these young guys do the field work, and let these experienced men tell the young guys what to do at the school, within the field work. Then the student, these guys that have the experience within the university, will lecture the student on security tips. Yeah. This is what you are saying. Do we have it like in the universities? No. So within the university system, we have also taken security. We have not given relevancy to what? Taking cognizance of what? The insecurity within our country. Because the university itself have to look at security first today. And tell the student, you must be security conscious 24 hours. From your house to the university, from the university to your house, and within the university cycle. And you are not allowed to go outside the gate of the university without anything serious, without cogent reasons. You don't just leave the university system and say we are going out as a student. No, even those that come from the town to university, you have a time you spend. If you are going out, they knew quite all right. The school system authority will know this. The buses that are coming to pick students here, and this is where they are going to. We know your movement in and out. So with this, if these measures are not put in place, the fault is not just government. The university as a system. The VC, the chancellor, the pro-chancellor, the lecturers must know the importance of security today within the university system cycle. And they must allow the student to know how they take care of themselves security-wise. They must learn tell the children to understand the apparatus of security within this university system. They must obey all security tips, measures within the university. And if they see anything alarming, if they have noticed anything strange within the university, they should have a network that will read the security top agent there. And what? And notify them within the next 5 minutes that person has been arrested. Even if it is a student, not just somebody from outside. Because a student can't be integrated into one of those people harboring these guys. Yeah. Because what are we saying? Even now today, it's not just you have informants from outside. The students themselves monitor themselves and give security give loopholes and how these evildoers can come, penetrate and operate within the cycle, and nothing happen, and they go home with it. So what we are saying is that, look, the university management system should change. The management system of the university management system should bring in security issues as #1 issue within the university system. Because in those days, I know in my university time is that, look, there's a time before you even go, they will check you and see, hope there's no any weapon with you. That is, then today are we doing it?
I'd like to see divert the question back to teachers. Do you think this is actually going to be is going to motivate teachers to even want to go to school, given the level of insecurity we have right now? Because of course, whether we like it or not, the federal government has to intervene. It can't be done alone by the civil society or the immediate society itself. So
let me tell you, today our teachers are not happy being teachers. Everybody wants to be a politician. Everybody wants to be in the green chamber or the red chamber. If you cannot get there, you want to be a House of Rep member within the state level, or you want to be a local government chairman or a councillor, or an essay to a governor or a P or a commissioner. Today, if you ask your child now what they want to be, I want to be a senator, I want to be a governor, not even an engineer or pilot or this. No, a doctor, no. You want to be a politician.
Honorable.
So this is it. So this issue of the teacher, look, teachers are not being teacher as they used to be in those days. They are today not happy being teachers. They are just doing it for survival. But if you are talking of taking pleasure, real pleasure, enthusiasm from what they are doing, that look, I'm proud to be a teacher. Let me tell you, most teachers are not proud to be teachers. They tell you it's just that, look, I don't have what I want, I have to manage this.
And if you don't have passion for what you are doing, then that means you're relatively not
into it. That is why if you go to most of these schools, particularly the public school, if you look at the teachers, they are only there to get their money. You see teachers selling one petty books, selling one thing or the other, collecting 500, 200, doing a lesson for students, collecting 2,000 or 1,000 at the end of the close hour. Let me tell you, most public schools today, do you know that by 12 o'clock, they stop teaching? 12! Then at from 1 o'clock, they start their lesson. If you pay for a lesson, your teacher will part, your student will be part of, your child will be part of the lesson. It is from 12 to 2 o'clock, 2 hours. And they give more attention to this lecture because that's why they get their money. But are they not being paid their salary? They collect their salary.
But is that salary enough even to for their standard of living?
This is it. And if you look at it, with this, they will tell you, auntie said we should bring broom. Now your child is going to start school. They have to bring 2 toilet soap. They have to bring sponge. They have to bring a bucket. Virtually, they are providing the teacher with all their toiletries, their beverages. Sometimes they say they are doing practical, they should bring rice, 1 mood of rice, 2 mood of rice. So they are supplying the teacher with their food.
All right, Sulaiman, I'd like you to leave our teachers with a note. I'm sure you have something in your mind you would like to encourage them with, even irrespective of the fact that things might not be exactly the way they want it to be. What note would you leave with them in 60 seconds?
Teachers should be passionate about teaching. What goes around will surely comes around. Today, I have to tell you, whoever I am, it is through the educational process, my educational career made me who I am. And nobody have taught me to be who I am today more than a teacher. The teachers, my teachers should be more proud of me than me being proud of myself. Proud of yourself.
Because it looks like, oh, this is my investment and it has worked. All right, thank you very much, Dr. Sulaiman. It's been an insightful analysis with you today on the program. We do hope we'll see you some other time to talk about election matters.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful to my teacher.
All right, viewers at home, it's still Teachers Day, and happy Teachers Day to every teacher out there. Thank you for putting so much effort. Without you right now, we wouldn't have a society that we are in right now, whether people like it or not. That is a major thing. I remain Mercy Babajide. See you same time, same station, and it's still on the Polity tomorrow. Bye.